the guys they signed this offseason to contribute have not really contributed in the way you want. Isaac Yiadom giving up 10 catches on 13 targets. Devondre Campbell was not their first option, where they wanted Eric Kendricks. Kendricks is now the 21st ranked linebacker so far for the Cowboys after he changed his mind. Campbell's the 54th ranked linebacker. So because they have not got a lot from those guys, they need more from this year's rookie class. And that's not too much to ask. When you look at Kansas City, and I had the graphic up a second ago on YouTube, when you look at Kansas City, it's not just Mahomes and Andy Reid and Steve Spagnuolo that have put them in championship contention every year. It's the GM, Brett Veach. Okay? On average, the players they drafted in 2021, 2022, and 2023 have played in more games than the guys that the Niners have drafted. They've gotten more out of their draft classes in those stretches. Look at rounds 1 through 4, players drafted in the first 4 rounds. On average, those guys have played in 74% of the available games to them. That means if you were drafted in 2021, you've played in 75% of the games on average over the course of 3 years, if you were 1 through 4. Now, is that good or bad? Well, that is much better than the 49ers, whose guys drafted in the first 4 rounds have played in half on average of the games that the Niners have played. When you zoom out, whole draft, rounds 1 through 7, Kansas City, again, has a significant advantage. 63% on average. 63% of the available games is what their draft picks have played. For the Niners, 46%. So Kansas City is able to handle injuries, a free agent signing maybe that doesn't work out, because their draft picks have been available to them. Now, part of this is their quarterback's expensive before the Niners quarterback is expensive. So it matters more, I guess, in theory, but it matters now. It matters now for the 49ers. Is Renardo Green going to be able to contribute? They need him. They can use him right now. Is he ready to go? They can use him. Is Jacob Cowing? Can they get that guy up to speed? Isaac Guerendo? I mean, Isaac Guerendo was not an undrafted free agent. And right now, the 49ers basically operate like they have one running back, which is always historically how they've kind of operated. But what's clear is Isaac Guerendo is not the Jordan Mason to Jordan Mason's Christian McCaffrey. The 49ers have the seventh most expensive defense in the NFL. They're spending $109 million on their defense. The Steelers are spending the most on their defense, $137 million. They're the number 1 defense in the league right now. The Packers, the Bears, the Chargers, not all of these translate, but the Chargers have, they're number 3. The Bengals, the Titans, those are the teams with a more expensive defense than the 49ers. When you have $109 million in defense, you're relying so much on Mooney Ward, who, it's weird. PFF has him ranked 81st, even though he's top 10 on completion percentage against him. Isaac Yiadom's actually graded higher than Lenore and Ward. But regardless, you've got money spent, Javon Hargrave, who's now out for the year. Well, as we know, just because you spend a lot of money on 8 guys, you still have 3 other guys on the field, let's say. You spend a lot of money on 6 guys, there's still 5 other guys that have to make plays. So they really need their young guys to do even more than I think we thought they were going to need to do, because their free agency class is. I mean, you go back to last year with Hargrave. It hasn't gone well, and now he's probably played his last game as a 49er. He's just going to be too expensive next year. Oh, guys, I got to tell you about PrizePicks. PrizePicks code GUY. There's a link down in the description. You can just go click on that, and it'll take you right to PrizePicks.com. You put in the code GUY. You make a $5 lineup. You will immediately get $50 more right into your account. You can use the app, same deal. I love making lineups on PrizePicks. It's so easy. I know a lot of you love fantasy. I don't play fantasy because it's so much work, but I love PrizePicks because I can get the fun of it without spending a bunch of time on it. I pop in, I go more or less on, let's see, Brock Purdy touchdown passes. I'll go more than 1.5. Saquon Barkley, more than 21 yards through 5 carries was one I did the other day, which was a lot of fun. PrizePicks code GUY. It's a problem, and they can't go to the draft now. They just have to hope that when Ricky Pearsall comes back, he's ready to contribute. But really, it's about the defense and the young linebackers they've drafted. We've been okay. Is D Winters ready? Can he take snaps from Devondre Campbell, is he going to stay healthy? Right? Is Jair Brown, can he and Hufanga get healthy and the two of them develop into a top safety combo? Which I talked about with Kawakami. So, there's only so much you can do if you're really expensive guys, and the Niners have expensive guys because they have a highly paid defense. Don't play up to their level, right? It's like, is Yadam the problem? I mean, I know he hasn't been great. They've been targeting him, and they've been doing it successfully. I think the larger issue is that as a collective, the Niners defense makes it easy for an offense to target Isaac Yadam when they don't get to the quarterback, when they don't create a pass rush with four. When they have easy holes, every defense has holes, but you have to cover it up. Maybe you disguise coverage. You confuse the quarterback. You have elite pass rushers that get to the quarterback, and that helps make Isaac Yadam better, and that helps make Devondre Campbell better. And right now it feels like not only can offenses identify the Niners' weaknesses, but the Niners aren't mitigating. They aren't doing anything to stop an offense. By the way, this is like this is like Ohio State going up against some FCS school. The Niners, $109 million spent on their defense. The Rams, $44 million. The Rams defense is basically financially the Oakland A's or the Tampa Bay Rays. $44 million the Rams spent on their defense. 180 they spent on their offense. $44 million. So last week, the Niners defense lost to another defense that was, more than two times as cheap. 2 times as cheap? Twice as? Niners are almost 3 times as expensive, whatever, 2.5 times as expensive as the Rams defense. Kansas City's spending $75 million on their defense this year, right? They've got a defensive coordinator that makes a $75 million defense $100 million defense. Minnesota is spending $79 million on their defense. They've got a defensive coordinator that makes that feel like, like $115 million defense. So they're finding value. By the way, Baltimore 106 on its defense this year. Is it fair to put that pressure on the Niners individual rookies? Fair or not, it's just the reality of they need this draft class to be more than Dominic Pooney and hopefully soon Ricky Pearsall.